What's up, guys, and welcome to the Night Talk. I am your host, Dwayne Lanham, with your infamous co-host, TLO. How's it going, man?
It's going where I couldn't tell you, but it's going.
Hey, amen to that. You ain't never lied about that. So, guys, tonight, as you've seen in the description on YouTube and Facebook, oh, do I got some news for y'all. Let's get it. So, guys, if you can't follow along, that's fine. I understand it. Oh, do I got? It's gonna be one of those you've had to keep up with the news to understand anything that I'm about to be talking about here in about 2 minutes. So, first of all, TLO, beat on the street. What is Minneapolis looking like with the Derek Chauvin trials going on?
Well, mostly how it's looked for a while, just boarded up and lots of infrastructure as far as like cages around the courthouse and city hall and stuff. But yeah, pretty much everywhere else it's just boarded up businesses. There's nothing. I haven't even seen too much movement as far as any of the National Guardsmen or anything. So.
Well, we know they're there. That's going to be the funny thing. We know they're sitting there. And we know, hey, Pamela, if I can get to come up. Scarlett's going to be joining sometime here soon. So hopefully she gets here. But it will be like half hour into the show until she pops in. Oh, because of the trial? Exactly, fam, which is why I started off the beat on the street. So, TLO, how much barbed wire is there?
Well, there's a lot. It's surrounding, as I said, the both the city hall and the courthouse, which are basically across from each other, and the little plaza separates them. So all of that has been cordoned off and whatnot. It's kind of silly because I mean they went as far as to do like a moat sort of thing, and the moat is filled with barbed wire, so that's pretty funny.
Right, exactly. You know what? Exactly, dude. Scarlett is on her way, guys. It's not letting her register her mic or her phone. So she's possibly on. She's on her way. We just gotta give her some time. So another, that's what I wanted to talk about was the Derek Chauvin trial. As we know, yesterday was. Stop messaging me for a second. Okay. My phone sucks. I love her. I fucking love her. Sorry, guys. Reading text messages out loud. Back to what I was saying before fucking I got distracted by the owner of the network. You gotta love that, TLO.
Right.
The same amount as the Capitol building? I'd say more.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
I'd say probably about only by 150, 200 more. Reason I learned of the protest is because Cleveland 19 News, unfortunately, was there. And so was somebody else by the name of... Scarlett shared it. Hold on, I gotta find that name. Or unless it's gonna bug the shit out of me now. It starts with an M. I just can't remember his name. So I gotta go back through her page. The person covering the protest that was on the ground at the time of what? Computer? What? The fuck do you want? You're already pissing me off. Leave me alone. Oh, God, Jesus. I gotta find this fucking thing. What What the fuck is the name of that fucking people that were sitting down there? God, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mercado Media
Uh,
was down there covering, was actually on the ground at the time of it and seeing it live, and it was a silent protest. Silent. That's the funny part. It was a silent walk from wherever they were walking to the courthouse. Now, mind you, Monday was only the selection of the jury.
and then that was also paused or whatever because I'm not sure what excuse they gave yesterday, but they
don't know
they
either.
paused it.
Right. What's up, Scarlett?
What's up?
Okay.
Yeah,
so
my phone is completely bit the dust at this point. Like I can't get to even go phone.
You can't get what?
Never mind.
So Scarlett would know more about this. So Scarlett, we're on the topic of the Derek Chauvin trial that's happening this week. That's taking place.
What about it?
So we know that the jury selection was happening yesterday and part of today.
Yeah, it's going to continue tomorrow.
I was creeping your Facebook earlier today because I figured you'd be posting updates on it all day. Went in and decided to put and read what you posted. They're not even letting them look up the laws for this?
No. I thought that part was interesting personally, but apparently when you're part of a jury, you are not allowed to look up the law yourself, like the state statute. You cannot look up yourself. You supposedly have to be told by the judge what the law is.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Isn't it?
Which that makes no absolute fucking sense.
Well, to some degree, yes. To some degree, no. Because here's my tiff with it. Why couldn't we give them like physical Minnesota state law books that have just the statute in it to understand how you should charge someone, how the law is framed, right? Because if you are a jury representing to enforce a law, right?
Right.
Okay. Then you should be able to look at it in its entirety, how it's written. Okay.
Exactly.
Because here's my issue. Otherwise, I consider that the judge could potentially have a bias that then could come into play for interpretation. You know, let's just say he doesn't put emphasis on an explanation or something of that degree. Then these people are only going to judge based on that.
Right. See, and that's where I was getting when I saw your post in the comments that were in detailed in the post.
Well, yeah, and I get what people are saying. Like, I just can't think of something where it could be truly beneficial, but it seems to benefit the defense the most because if they don't explain it the right way, there's nobody in the jury who can step up and say, well, that's not the law, because then they're going to say, well, how do you know? Because they've already asked them in pre-selection what they know about, do they know about laws? Do they know this or that? They asked, remember, they were like, we see you to have friends that are lawyers. Are you going to call them up and ask them questions about the law?
Right. Is it going to be an equal trial?
You think about it, though, when you really think about it, because all he would be asking is about the law. Not anything about the case. You see what I mean? So that's what bothers me. And that's why it's so important that everybody go to fija.org, FIJA.org. That is the Fully Informed Jury Association. Why it's important to be abreast of what's going on is to understand what jury nullification is and how you can bring that to the table. Because you cannot talk about jury nullification if you are picked on a jury because you off fast when you got there. Principles, you'll be able to nullify and potentially change the law yourself. Especially now knowing you don't even get to know the law before you get there, it might be important.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, okay, so here, I'll show you guys the website while I'm sitting here. Because I went and did a thing because Scarlett spelled the damn thing out for me. Okay. So, where am I going, Scarlett? I'm here. I don't know where I'm going.
You should go to What We Do, obviously, or About Fija, or Libraries and Resources. There's a bunch of places.
All right. Register for Zoom sessions for the access presentation. So, oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, it does seem problematic to have that fall just on the judge.
I mean, here's my thing when I think of this. This is a really sensitive fucking case, for one.
Yeah.
Well,
Scroll down.
that's an understatement.
Scrolling down.
That's
only half
Go back up. Quit going so fast. Slow down. Click here for our online library.
I'm on the online library. Click here for online library. Okay. Library.
No, I don't have it.
Brochures and rat cards. Is this site as useless as just as its name?
That does happen.
Laws regarding jury rights. Okay.
Yeah, so read it. Read it.
Every juror on every jury in the United States has the independent right to vote their conscience. Jurors may not legally be punished for their verdicts. This is a common law right dating back over 800 years to the United States and even before that. English history. Sometimes governments have sought to give that right to extra protection with specific codification in constitutional or statutory law. Other times they have attempted to weaken and undermine it through legislation. One of our popular resources is a summary of specific references to the authority of juries to consciously acquitted to contain within state constitutions as added codification of the right of the jury nullification to back up our common law tradition. Previously offered only in PDF format, FIJA now offers this material as an interactive webpage complete with dozens of embedded links to the specific state constitution provision and other references cited. All of the references have been checked and in one instance were noted. The text has been updated to account for a constitutional amendment passed since this piece was originally published. We are also in the process of fact-checking and preparing for online publication of a wealth of new information on jury-related statutory laws in 50 states, data on key jury-related Supreme Court decisions, and more. So find out what key jury legislation is under your consideration. Actually, I want to learn more about laws regarding jury rights. Okay. Now let's see if there's one for each state. No, there's not.
Well, click on the law. So you're going to need to look at state constitution language on jury nullification.
Well, that's where I'm at, and it's not giving me nothing to click on.
Go down, and then there's also a free speech gate. Yeah, like, there's a bunch of crap. You just got to learn how to look at it. There you go.
All right. So
The point is that basically juries you can nullify any law. Okay. If you go to court, let's say somebody's there for like a marijuana charge, right? And you feel like I believe that marijuana should be legal. You, as a juror, have the right to nullify the law and vote that this person is not guilty. No matter what these people try to tell you about how you're supposed to conduct yourself, when it comes down to it, you become a juror who has the independent right to nullify a law if you therefore choose. Because if you can prove to your other jurors the reason why you should nullify it without saying nullification, because you cannot say anything about that. But if you can find a way to persuade your fellow jurors into believing what you believe, you can nullify laws. That's the way to do it.
They don't even have one from Minnesota. What the hell?
Not every state have cases. Stop.
Stop touching shit.
Go back to you did. That has to do with libel cases only. So that's why the other states weren't on that list.
Hold on.
All types of stuff. They can actually send you information. They can send little leaflets and packets and stuff like that.
Oh, what the hell?
When you go into a jury, you can decide if you believe that this law is fair or not.
Right, exactly. And like, here's the thing, you want to use that to the best of your ability without a judge knowing.
Yes, they can't know that you're there to nullify because they will dismiss you if they realize that you're doing that.
Do you know what? And
but you should be impartial. I mean, you shouldn't be going in just saying, I'm going to let this person free no matter what. But with a lot of situations, they don't have to be charged if you could prove to your other jurors why there is a beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
Right. And here's the thing. We know the person that's being charged is being charged with, was it murder or manslaughter?
Well, it's like second degree murder. They're probably going to add third degree murder charges, but they haven't been able to yet.
Right.
Because they are waiting for a Minnesota Court of Appeals case for Mohammed Noor, who killed Justine Damon, who was a white woman who was calling in a rape in her neighborhood. And supposedly he said that she came out and banged on the back of their police car, and then he shot her.
That's a reason to shoot somebody? What the? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because he was scared, bro.
Here's my thing, because like I said, this shit
shouldn't been a cop.
No,
right.
That's why Minneapolis cops be scary as hell. That's what I'd be trying to say. Like, people are like trying to, stick up for this cop, but it's like, if you knew how Minneapolis cops really were, you would know that they're really punk ass. Like,
Yes.
they are really pussy. And so when it comes down to it, they will sit and abuse someone or hurt someone because they know they can't do anything else. Why they shot this woman who wasn't even a threat, who did not have a gun, who wasn't in any way, shape, or form going to hurt them. But then he's going to sit up there and tell that lie that he was scared for his life, yada, yada, bullshit. And they made such a big deal over him because he was the first Somalian police officer, yada, yada, bullshit.
And that's what it comes down to. The only reason why people are going back and saying, getting behind him is because he is the first Somalian.
Right. And I mean, here's my thing, okay? And here's my thing. So why even hold this fucking trial if you are still waiting for a court of appeal?
Dwayne, it's not the same case. Did you not
Yeah.
just hear that this case is for Mohammed Noor, who killed Justine Damon? You did not even hear what I said. This is not the Derek Chauvin trial. So why that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
They're waiting for it though because the precedent will be set for a cop to be charged with third-degree murder.
Yeah. So they're waiting for the law to be enacted in another case so that they can apply it to this case.
Because this case would because this case happened way before, so it wouldn't grandfather him in because it would be the law as soon as that ruling comes out.
Yep.
Right, and I mean yeah. Okay, now I understand. So, with this going on, and then the protest that happened Sunday, that I called Scarlett and told her to get the fuck on Facebook. And we're like, hey, you kind of might want to check this out because they were protesting in the middle of the street. They were armed. I mean, there was people holding assault rifles.
It wasn't in the middle of the street. That one was outside the government center.
The one that you showed me from Mercado, they were walking on the street.
No, that was the same view that Cleveland 19 had, which was an overhead view of them outside the government center.
But here's the funny thing about this protest. It was silent. It was what they call a silent march.
They were talking. No, they were talking before, and they had people that were out there and giving their little speeches and this and that. And they've been camped outside. But I've been seeing lately, Nikema Levy Armstrong is outside with her husband with rifles.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Her husband owns some type of civilian. No, that's not nice. Her husband owns some type of civilian protection group. He used to have an LLC, but it expired. But he still has his protection license. So he can act as like a security guard to some degree.
Yep. Correct.
But why is he outside wearing bulletproof vests and carrying weapons when we're not an open carry state like that? Unless he has his conceal and carry, and I still don't think you could have. I don't know about rifles. I don't think it says. I think it's just handguns you can do that with.
Yeah, I was under the impression it was handguns as well.
See, and that's
because when you get your permit to purchase, it's for handguns, and then they have you get your permit to carry the same way. So I don't know. What I do know is why is he outside protecting her? There's supposedly 19 groups and coalition out there protesting.
Sierra's ass is out there.
Well, she's gonna get hurt.
Good. I hope she does.
Like, it's not smart to be up here because if you go to jail up here, you're not gonna necessarily get out.
Well, if you go to jail on Friday, you ain't getting out.
Well, not even that. None of the Black Lives Matter protesters got bailed out by anyone. Yeah. That bail fund never got them out.
But here's my thing. Okay. People here in Ohio, and I'm going to point this out now, have no right going to Minnesota to fucking be down there. It's none of our fucking business. Point blank number one.
Yeah. But there's plenty of people in town from out of town. I've seen so many license plates from
there's news people all from around the country, and they said they're staying here for the duration of the trial. Did you know that?
Yeah,
so all these people said they're staying for the duration of the trial, so they'll be here for months.
I mean, but here's my thing, okay? Back to what I was saying. People like Sierra, I should have fucking specified what I said. People like Sierra have no fucking right being down there at all whatsoever. From what I know, she's down there. From what I've heard.
I mean, it depends on what she's trying to do. I just think these people should be trying to help the hood or actually do something if they're going to be out. And they're just out here crying about this. And nothing's even happened yet, though. Like, you can't influence the jurors. So what is the point of sitting outside the courthouse? Go outside the governor's mansion or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Try to get some laws passed before the House and Senate go out of session. Like, try to actually do something.
Right. Here's my thing. And I was talking to TLO about this. I got a phone call sometime this weekend from that said person asking me to go back out in the streets. I said, fuck no. No way in hell.
I mean, it's got to be for the right reasons if you're going to protest, you know?
I mean, now here's the thing. I get why the people down there are protesting because it's taking way too fucking long.
No, it's not. This is how long a trial usually takes.
Yeah.
Well,
this is for a
it's a normal
high-profile
timing.
trial. This is fast. Because Mohammed
in some
Noor
cases it is fast.
Mohammed Noor, that shit happened 2-3 years ago when he killed Justine Damon. This wasn't just yesterday, and he just went to court this year. So they pushed this trial up because of what it was.
Right.
Yes.
But here's what I'm also saying.
It's not taking too long. It takes days. They had 50 potential jurors, and they have to go through each one to sit them on the jury.
Right. I do not miss
and they can't have them all in the same room.
Correct.
You can't have them all in the same room because of COVID. So they have to have 50 people plus, and there probably was more than that. They just narrowed it down to 50 that they were going to go through.
Right. Okay. And then let's talk about COVID here for a minute because Scarlett, I saw something you shared. And then my mom shared it. And I shared it. So the CDC came out with a fucking photo pamphlet, whatever the fuck that thing is, fucking stupid, that people who are vaccinated does not have to wear a mask, does not have to abide by the 6 feet rule. They're free. But people who aren't
vaccinated. They didn't say that. No, they didn't say that. No, Dwayne, you can't be giving out false information,
from the one that I've seen, from the one that I
No. That's not what it said at all. It's not what it said at all. What it said was that if you are vaccinated, you can go to another home with people who are vaccinated without masks. If you have, if you're an unvaccinated older person and you're going to necessarily like an unvaccinated adult's house, with like, let's say your daughter with her grandchildren, you can go, if you're vaccinated, you can go to their house and they're unvaccinated without a mask. And if you are if you are not vaccinated, they were saying that, or if you're a high risk, you should go to their house with a mask on and still do social distancing, still wear a mask in public, but avoid travel is the CDC's official recommendation.
See, and that's stupid. That is absolutely stupid.
It makes no sense because you can still spread the coronavirus even if you're vaccinated.
So, okay, so let's talk about this. So the vaccine's coming out. I know I'm able to get it because of certain, whatever you want to call it, certain factors in my medical history, whatever. I'm not touching the damn thing with a 5-foot pole.
Right.
Because of the fact, I don't know if I shared this on air yet, Cleveland Clinic, who's my neurologist, got a notification yesterday under my chart app. A couple days ago, it was actually when David was on here. I got a notification on my chart. Now, when I took the flu vaccine, I started having seizures again, really bad. I'm not taking a COVID vaccine. You're not. I'm not touching it. But here's the thing. So we want to talk about a no mask thing, and this is where it's going on my other rabbit hole for a minute. So everybody knows I talked about this. That this Sunday was the first time my church did not have to wear masks. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even make it all the way through service because I had a damn fucking panic attack in the middle of church.
Why?
Because this is how bad it's been fucked up. Everywhere else I've had to walk into, I've had to have a mask on. For the first time since this shit started, I was able to sit in church with no mask. And it felt uneasy to me.
Why?
I don't.
Because the conditioning has gotten to him, Scarlett. That's why.
That's terrible. You've let this shit get to you, Dwayne. That's fucked up. Man.
But do you know what? Here's the thing, though.
It's fucked up, but it's true. It's happening
Isn't it?
everywhere. I mean,
Isn't it
even my
fucked
mother,
up,
who is
though?
a staunch liberal and
I don't even get.
goes
I
against
don't feel
most
like
things
anything's different to
government
me.
orientated, she even is like buying into
No, see,
kind of
I
the fear.
welcome moments without masks, and they make me feel very comfortable and very normal. I have not lost what normal feels like. So yeah, I feel sorry for you, Dwayne. That's too bad because that
Do you
would
know
feel
what?
like a very free and great moment.
When I was
Right.
worshiping, it was fine. Like when we were all up singing and everything, I was fine.
Yeah, but even you shouldn't be afraid to be around other people who aren't going to get you sick and you're not going to die from the coronavirus. Like you should not be afraid of
Right.
other people. Like you should not
That's
feel
the
as if
thing.
other people are diseased or there's no reason why you can't be right next to them. There's no reason why you can't hug them. Like
Right. And
you
when
shouldn't
I got in there,
feel.
I was shaking hands, giving hugs. I don't know what changed. I
But you
don't
gotta
know.
remember that these people are not diseased. It's not wrong. That's normal. You have to
Renee,
remember what it was like. You cannot let this last year of life act like it's been all of your life on this earth.
right.
You have
Renee,
to remember what it's like. You have to hold on to that shit, or else we will never get over this shit if people start forgetting. So whatever that
Yeah.
is that you have to bring back those feelings of what it was like, you need to do it. Sit on it, meditate on it, look at pictures, look at videos, whatever it takes. But you need to remind yourself that if you lose this feeling, this is how they steal it and change our fucking future forever.
do you know what?
Is by getting you to the point where you feel uncomfortable around other normal people.
And I
Like
did
that's the
that
point.
when I got home. I went
No,
back to
like you need to do this every day from now on because you're getting PTSD over some shit that the government and that you know for a fact is a lie.
right.
Like you know that. You
And
know this is all bullshit. You know that's a lie. Like you know there's been no reason why you should have been afraid. You know you've been out this whole fucking year doing shit. You know that.
yeah, I have.
There's no reason why you should feel, you know that you've been feeling like you've been locked up and locked away for no reason. So you have to hold on to what our normal was. Don't let that feeling fade.
Do you know what? And I'm trying. Like so. I scheduled a
So start
trip.
trying every day. For real though, Dwayne, because you don't want to get sucked up in this shit.
Do you know what? And I'm working on it. Because I'm trying to remember the times to where I can go sit in a restaurant, to where I can go walk in a movie theater, bringing up memories in my head. To where I was free.
Right. You cannot
And
lose that. That's what they want everybody to lose is that feeling so that they can replace it with anxiety when you're in a crowd and make you feel
right.
uncomfortable to where you feel like you're agitated towards others. And this, like, that's exactly what they want. They want that negative response.
Right. And it's
Why people, did you see that video this week of those people fighting in the Bath and Body Works?
Oh
Yes.
my God, that was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what they want people to get to that point because people are just so tense, so stressed out, so just disseminated that when they get into public, they would do things like that and freak out on her and then scream at her about the mask and then take off their masks themselves.
Yeah.
Bruh. Because they know they can't breathe with the mask on after they done acted a complete fool. Like, but people are getting that psycho that they would take people down over line cutting or whatever it is just because they feel so privileged to be back in the store that they'll fight over on sale candles and shit that are on sale all year long anyway.
Right. And here's my thing. Like here in about a month and a half, I am going into a complete free state.
Right.
Completely free state. I'm going into Tennessee.
Not free, bro. Tennessee is not that free.
Well, they don't have their mask mandate anymore.
Mm.
From what my buddy Chris said, from the area I'm going down in Nashville, because he lives down that way. Scarlett, the one I went and stayed with last year. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said that most places do not have their mask mandate. And my friend Delilah, who is actually down there this week, said it felt so good not to put a mask on. Here's my thing. I am so looking forward to this because the fact that the government, one, has already tried to fuck up church.
You don't have to put on a mask anywhere. See, that's the problem with everybody. Like, you don't have to put on a mask anywhere. Even if your state requires it, you still don't have to put on a mask. People need to remember that we still have personal choice. And if we don't fight back, is how we end up getting our fucking governor's trying to make it into a law for the fucking mask mandate and then try to get everybody in trouble for fucking not wearing masks, like legally, because they haven't been able to do anything legally about it. And everybody knows. And when they fight this executive order in court, they lose. But if we make it an actual law, there'll be nothing that anyone can do. That's the fucked up part about this. People need to start fighting back. We're the first state that's going to be doing it. No, we're the first state that's going to be doing it, and people are then going to follow suit, bro.
Yep.
You know what?
So,
I have a feeling Ohio's going to be the next one.
They still do have their mask mandate. So, state guidelines as well as Governor Bill Lee are strongly encouraged for all persons in all public places where close proximity to others is anticipated.
Oh, I'm just getting told what I'm getting told by others down in Tennessee.
I'm just letting you know. Because he just a week ago gives localities authority to extend mask mandates through April 28th, Tennessee governor. No, it is not done. Whoever told you that is wrong. It is still in place.
And you know what? Then here's the thing, and then I'm going to go try to see Tim, because I was talking to TLO about this. After the fact of what happened on Sunday, I think I need to get my ass into a fucking state that no longer has a fucking mask mandate so I can get myself to fucking realize where I'm at.
Well, it won't be Tennessee, so, I mean, Florida's pretty free, but there's still places of Florida that are mask mandate ridiculous holes, too. Like, I have a friend who, we're going to have her on here pretty soon. She's from momsforfreedom.org, okay? And Moms for Freedom down there is going to all these city council meetings, all these other meetings. All these other meetings that are down there that are helping with, health board meetings, public policy meetings, because all of these places are trying to, there's no state mask mandate, but all these local municipalities are trying to gang up and create these fines and mask mandates and all this crap. And so Florida has pockets of freedom. I wouldn't say Florida is completely free because places like Tampa are not free. They're heavily mask mandated. There's other places that are completely free though too, like the Keys. You can't go to the Keys right now without a mask, and the locals will beat your ass over it. So it's not even like it's the establishments. People down there will freak out, and their mask mandate's in place till like next year. So, there are some states, all the states around us, me and TLO that is, are free. Wisconsin, Iowa, North, South Dakota. Yep. They all have no mask mandate. They're all open for business. But then you have to remember that it's not even the fact that these states have mask mandates. You got to find cities and towns that also don't have mask mandates, because cities and towns are making their own mask mandates. And then two, chain restaurants and corporations are making their own mask mandates. So even if you go somewhere and go to a restaurant, it still may not be free because the people who own it won't let you.
Right.
So it's not as free as people. I don't think there's anywhere that's like 100% completely. You will find places within these places of freedom that have free zones, so to speak, but not everywhere will be free.
Right. And you know what? Here's the thing too, it's like, so I'm going to bring up the greatest example I can use right now that's getting ready to happen. So, like, my son is getting ready to turn 2 on Friday, okay?
Yeah, but Pam, Texas isn't open though, like I just explained. Texas also has the same issues as Florida, where it's up
Yeah.
to the individual businesses, individual towns and cities to then have mask mandates. Just because the governor didn't mandate it does not mean that cities, towns, restaurants, and individual businesses can't have their own mask mandate.
Yeah, the
So
city
that's
of
where people
Austin.
are
The city of Austin has
highly
completely said
left.
they're not going to that they're going to continue with the mask mandate against the governor.
Right. Right.
So,
See, and
yeah.
that's their right. You see, that's the issue. People think that it just opened all of a sudden. No, it didn't. Each individual city, town, and then even like I said, down to individual businesses and corporations, mom and pops, all get to decide if they want a mask mandate. So it's not just that the governor allowed it and now everybody's going to be open and free. No, because if these businesses say you have to wear a mask to come into my store, then you have to, or else they can kick you out.
Yep.
Right. So here's the thing that I was going to say. So watch this, right?
All right.
So my baby boy turns 2 on
Where's
Friday.
that coming from?
It's my phone. My mom was texting me.
Mute it. Mute it. You need to put it on vibrate.
Hold on. I'm doing it.
You need to put it on vibrate.
Give me a minute. Okay. It's on vibrate.
Cool.
So my baby boy turns 2 on Friday. I have his party right now. Literally the day after.
Right.
The restaurant is only requiring us to put on a mask to go in and out of the building and go to the bathroom. We're in that back room. It doesn't fucking matter. Once we hit that back room, we're free.
Right.
So watch this shit. And I'm gonna get personal here for a minute with this. So as we all know, my dad's side of the family was supposed to come up for this party, right?
That's it.
Oh no, they're not anymore. Once we laid a roll down, no drinking in the back room around Dean at all whatsoever.
Okay, right.
My family threw a fit about it. We said, if you want to go drink, there's a bar out there. You can go out there, have a drink, come back. Knowing my side of the family, I said, you go out there and drink, you're not coming back. You're done.
Why?
My dad's family gets rowdy when they have alcohol in their system. They're idiots.
Right.
And I'll state that now. I don't give a fuck. So
you could go to school at a child's birthday party even.
Right. And I also told them, like, hey, look, you can wear a mask back there if you want to, but you don't have to, as long as you're sitting at the table or anything, you're fine. Like, you're fine. They went like, well, I'm going to wear my mask the whole time and this. And I'm like, you don't have to. And they went like,
people can do what they want to do too.
Oh, no. Watch what their approach was. We don't know where you've been. What?
Excuse me? Like, hold up.
Like, hold up, wait a minute. I wouldn't go anywhere that would put myself in danger.
Not even that. I'm not a stray cat. I am not worried about fucking coronavirus, nor am I worried about catching it. There's a 99.97 survival rate for everybody. There's no point in being freaked out about it.
Oh, my quail's burnt.
That's even with comorbid conditions. That's even with multiple comorbidities. The percentage rate of survival is still 99.97% until you hit over age 70.
Yeah, there went my fucking quail. Son of a bitch.
So it's just like, why are people still freaking out? Like, nobody's looked up those numbers, but they just want to say, oh, well, if you don't have the vaccine, you can't survive. Even though all the vaccine does is supposedly stop, they say, hospitalization and death. But I just have a hard time believing that if everybody gets vaccinated, nobody's going to die from the coronavirus anymore.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. So I have a friend in the UK. Okay, so watch this shit. Are they
really just going to give up control that quick, though? Like, that's my question. Will they really just give up that control, or will they already have some other plan in place by then why they're okay with it? Because Like, basically, they're saying we're going to be all opened up by summer, yada, yada, bullshit, all this other shit. Okay, let's say they get everybody vaccinated. Then they're just not going to be talking about coronavirus anymore? Or, like, how does that work? Because how do you go from having so much to control to none? I just have a hard time believing that they're going to give up that level of leverage so soon. Like, I have a real hard time believing that.
I mean, I do too, and be careful, Dwayne. He was messing with those people on the Meet Me app. That's not even attached to this story, Mikto. So I have a friend of mine in the UK who lives down like on the bottom portion of the UK. Like she lives like 9 hours away from London.
Okay.
They are still on lockdown till, from what their government said, they're going to start opening non-essential businesses back up on the 21st of April. Okay?
Right.
Their plan isn't to come off of lockdown till June 21st.
Yeah, but they're still giving an endpoint of this year, which is only a few months away.
Right.
Which is making me wonder why they're just going to give up control all of a sudden if they know everybody won't be vaccinated by then, but yet they say vaccination is the way that everything stops. So if everybody isn't vaccinated, they're just going to get, like, nobody's just going to be dying anymore. Like, I just have a really hard time.
And I want to make a point that MGTOW just made. Okay? We need to start suing these businesses over violation of the Disability Act. MGTOW, I'm actually in the process of suing a business right now under that fact for a certain reason.
Well, they try to say that they can give you other accommodations or this or that, but it literally is against the Nuremberg Code. That's half of the problem.
Where I was going.
The Nuremberg Code, because here's the deal. There's a section in the Nuremberg Code, right, that says in no case should a collective agreement or the consent of a community leader or any other authority substitute for an individual's informed consent. Leaders should be aware that mandating masks on the citizens of a nation, preventing their access to food, healthcare, transport, or education if they don't comply, is a war crime. Masks or any other medical intervention must remain voluntary.
Exactly.
Because any preventative, diagnostic, therapeutic, medical intervention is only carried out with the prior free and informed consent of the person concerned based on adequate information, and the consent should, where appropriate, be expressed and may be withdrawn at any time for any reason.
Right.
And so they need to realize that this is actually, to mandate any medical procedure like COVID test to have surgery. If you don't have a COVID test now, you don't get surgery.
Right. So watch this. I was going somewhere with this. So watch. Scarlett, remember how I told you I had my first seizure at work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
EMS went to take my mask out of me because it was my neck gaiter was starting to go into my mouth. VXI said they were not allowed to take my mask off my face until I left the building.
No, they can't say something like that over EMS. They can try, but they're stupid to even try to.
Well, because here's my thing.
How are you gonna trump a medical professional during an emergency? You can't keep one on an incapacitated person, and that is according to your governor's mandate as well. In there is exceptions for those who are incapacitated and those who medically can't wear one. But yet no one in any of the states ever respects that clause. And that's half of the problem. The governor's orders do write that in. That if you have a medical reason or physically cannot take your own mask, control of your own mask at any time, including during a medical emergency, that you don't have to wear a mask. Period.
Right. And here's my thing.
That's a freaking mandate.
Right. And so here's my thing. When I came out of my first seizure, my mask was already off because one of the guys yanked it off my face. Right. Mm-hmm. Once they got me sitting up, they put my mask back on me. Okay, it's a neck gaiter. I can breathe. Right, which is wrong.
They shouldn't even be doing that. Yeah.
Now, watch this. EMS gets down there. I know my neck gaiter is off. Right? I know it's off. EMS walks away from me for a second to talk, to figure out how the fuck they're going to get me from downstairs in the basement to upstairs because the service elevators weren't working.
Right.
So they said to transport me from the basement through an elevator, which is literally not that far away from the door, to where you would take me out. He has to have his mask on until he leaves the building.
No.
And then I
they can't tell EMS what to do though. Like that's ridiculous.
And then I have this fucking thing on for the second one. This thing's halfway in my fucking mouth.
Yeah, they should have never even thought that was okay. Either one of them, EMS or the business.
Well, EMS wanted to take it off because they wanted my oxygen levels.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Well, yeah, because you're literally having an issue. Like it's stupid to keep a mask on at that point. They need to keep your airways clear.
My family doctor is putting in, when she fills out my ADA paperwork, so I talked to her today on the phone, she is putting into effect, because the fact that the carbon dioxide from the mask can also be causing my seizures, because my brain is not getting enough oxygen. That is getting more carbon dioxide than anything else wearing one of these.
Yeah, because any smart doctor who knows anything about anything knows that. But they won't let doctors admit that right now. That's the problem.
Well, here's the thing. It's going down on my ADA paperwork.
Well, that's great because it should go on everybody's shit because that's the point. It's harmful to everyone, especially during a medical emergency.
Right, and Mick, tell you right. It also does go against the Geneva Convention. It also goes against the Geneva Convention. Under the Geneva Convention, you cannot shame prisoners with wearing any form of headgear that disparages the dignified appearance of a POW.
Well, yeah, because we are prisoners of war at this point. I was telling people, look, everybody always thought, oh, they're going to take us to the camps and all this other shit. Guess what? They didn't have to take us to the camps. They turned our neighborhoods and our neighbors into concentration camp citizens. Okay? And so they don't need to actually make ghettos and camps. They have created our world in the ghettos and camps. And especially, it is very apparent in Minneapolis right now. It is outfitted like a 1935 Jewish ghetto.
Right. I'm going to be a smart ass here for a minute. Does everybody feel safe now I have a mask on?
No one feels safe.
Exactly. My fucking point.
Masks should never make you feel safe. Masks were always made to make you scared of robbers and scared of unsavory people who would wear masks. Like now you can walk into a bank and be wearing a mask.
Do you know what? And that's how actually one of our banks got robbed here because somebody wearing a neck gaiter. For nobody knows what the fucking neck gaiter is, once I figure where the hell mine's at, I'll show you. Actually, mine's back here. I'll show you what a neck gaiter is. Actually, I may not show you what a neck gaiter is. Hold on. Yeah, I'll show you what a neck gaiter is. These are the newest masks that stores are fucking selling. They go over your fucking neck. And
They've been selling those. Those are late. I was wearing those last year because up here you can at least get away with wearing a bandana, neck gaiter, or scarf. Those are considered appropriate. But I was wearing those last year because I have like a headband one that I had bought for like outside that then became like my next best friend when I was having to do stupid people.
You cover your face up like
the thing and everything. Like it's stupid.
You cover your face up like this with one of these and walk into a bank.
Yeah, you would 2 years ago you would have been fucking tackled and arrested.
Right. Exactly.
But now you can't even go into the bank up here. You can't even go into banks around here. They haven't opened up the lobbies in a year.
Right. Here's the thing. I literally walked into a bank like this with my knife on my side, but nobody could see that because I had my t-shirt. I had one of my long t-shirts on, so you couldn't see I had it on me. Wearing it like this, And that was it. Right. So here's my thing. When I had my seizure, it was sitting like this, right, Scarlett? Sitting like this, over my face, barely on the bridge of my nose. That's how I wear my neck gaiter. It was like this. Right here in my mouth. If I would have rolled one wrong way,
Yeah, every single one of them stupid. Including EMS, they're all dumb because that shouldn't even have happened.
So let's start a religion that forbids us to cover our face.
Yeah, I'm here for that. Yeah, I'm here for that. Let's do it, MGTOW.
Amen, MGTOW. That is like 10 points.
I swear, because it's just like, yeah, I don't have to cover my face and I don't inject myself with anything ever.
Right, and here's my thing,
like,
guys. So I want to show you guys something real quick, and you're going to laugh at me, and Scarlett's probably going to call me stupid while I'm doing this. So you guys see the pizza boxes sitting back there on my back dresser that are standing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I've been shooting them for the past 2 days. With a BB gun.
What do you mean? You're stupid.
My mom's letting me because they're double boxed.
That's dumb. You're gonna pop through that wall. Trust and believe.
Yeah.
Keep thinking you won't. Keep thinking you won't.
I already did with one box. But we're not telling my mom that.
Yeah, I know, because I know how that shit works. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her now.
But it's like, here's the thing though too, is like,
right, Kilo, I got the number. I'll just call her.
I still don't understand why. I still don't understand why I was so scared on Sunday not to have a mask on. Like,
you've been trained to think that. You've been scared by the media, and now it's
conditioned. It's not scared; it's conditioned.
Like, I left church and didn't even stay for second service. I didn't even go back for game night that night. I came home in a mid-panic.
It would have been hella fun. Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about it. I mean, it's just terrible.
No. Pam, my church is not... Okay, so Pam wasn't here when I explained this. We got a letter from the mail from our church saying that I actually have the letter sitting right here. Just give me a second. I got to grab it. I just cleaned and reorganized my room today and got all my paperwork.
That they have people feeling like you can't interact with others and that you are to be afraid to do so.
Exactly.
I mean, it's everybody's choice. I mean, you don't have to go out. I mean, you don't have to not wear a mask. You don't have to interact with people. Like, you do have the choice to not do that if you so choose.
Right. My church still gives people an option. If they want to wear a mask, they can wear a mask.
Absolutely. Nobody can tell you what to do. See, that's the problem, is that people should have the choice. People got so mad at Mississippi's governor for coming out and saying, well, I want to give the power back to the people of Mississippi to decide what's best for their families. And they tried to call them buffoons and shit.
Yeah. Buffoons?
Yeah, that's what Biden tried to call them. He tried to call them like barbarians or some bullshit.
You know what? Fuck him, because he couldn't even fucking run his own Secretary of Defense.
I know, because that's because he's old. I don't know why everybody wanted to vote in some old man.
But like I was saying to Pam, my church sent us a letter saying because of the spiritual, mental, and emotional well-being, they are no longer requiring masks on Sundays or anytime on both campuses. So I can walk in there on Wednesday like I'm going to, because I have to go. I started spiritual counseling with my counselor, with my pastor.
At least Trump had recall of facts and events, unlike Biden.
So this is what the letter states, because it was sitting right in front of me the whole time. As of March 7th, Living Water will no longer be enforcing the mask mandate of any of our ministry areas on Sunday mornings or throughout the week. We will also begin to serve coffee again on the 7th with cafes to open very soon, which is March 21st.
That's what's up. See, they used to make a lot of money from these little cafes and shit inside churches
Right.
and stuff.
So watch me.
You know.
So it says
Exactly.
it says next. Let me be really clear about this decision. The primary factor in relaxing the added precautions is not because we may be tired of it or that we may not like it. The motivation comes from the conclusion that our emotional, mental, and spiritual health is at greater risk than our physical health at this stage of the pandemic. We are intentionally choosing to remove the barriers to connection and community that have been in place over the last year. We recognize some people will celebrate this decision while others feel this is happening too soon. As a church, we must continue to make it a priority to continue to honor and respect each other in the midst of our different responses to the pandemic.
Exactly. That's what we should have had from day one. Acceptance of families' choices. If you'd
Right.
like to wear a mask, if you don't, if you'd like to social distance or you don't. How is it hard? Okay, yeah, it would have been awkward to do it for the past year, but how hard would it to have been to be like, are you okay with social distancing or don't you care? Would you like to wear a mask or don't you care? And just ask people what their level of comfort is, and then that way you can gauge how you react towards them. If they would like you to be socially distant, remind yourself to be socially distant. If they want you to wear a mask, try to remember that. And, if people could have just given people that amount of respect to whatever choice they decided to make for them or their family to be respectful of it, we would be in a whole different place right now.
Right.
But they had to politicize it and they had to make it a huge deal and they had to make it a polarizing issue in the country and around the world instead of letting people choose their level of comfort. Now they want to talk about, since people are vaccinated, people who are unvaccinated with low risk. Those unvaccinated, supposed low risk people should have been the people wearing no mask the whole time because they are unvaccinated and low risk.
And you know what? And here's the
That
thing.
is the problem. They just never. Now they want to respect people's choices. Now they want to act like people can choose what's best for their families after they've destroyed all of the economies. They're basically holding on as a thread, whether it's community, state, local, federal, doesn't matter. All this shit's falling apart. Nobody has money. Nobody's generating income. Nobody has solid fucking anything anymore. The only people who are really making money are some restaurants and especially chain or corporations.
Oh yeah, mostly corporations.
You know what?
Mostly corporations because they've been able to keep their doors open and shut everything down. Most fast food, even up here, has none of their lobbies open.
Correct.
Right.
Like,
Here's
and
my
they haven't
thing,
for a
Scarlett.
year.
We went. If you guys go back into the archives on YouTube of our past videos of Clarity After Dark, and the Night Talk, if you guys go back into like March when the mask mandate started hitting, you guys will hear us say what we're saying exactly right now.
Well, that's the whole deal. They just let people choose what they wanted to do. It's not that big of a deal to basically turn everybody into a leper or a martyr or a virtue signal over the mask, over the vaccine, over this, over staying home, over whatever it was, and let people make choices. Let things have been open for people who wanted to go. Do not scare people into sheer panic and paralyzation.
Exactly. You know what? And Scarlett,
Because that is, we're going to start seeing the true effects of this shit come soon.
right. And you made a good point because I went back and I watched the you remember my first ever like 7-hour episode where it was me, you, and TLO?
Mm-hmm.
It was that first week I was ever on air. I went back and I watched it. Bits and pieces trying to find information. You said eventually with this mask mandate that the one thing that will happen is domestic terrorism.
Yep. Because see, I'm telling you, they're going to act, like I said, they were going to act because remember, the unvaccinated in 2019 was the WHO's #1 public health threat. So I knew that at first, when they started pushing the mask, that they were going to use masks as a way to say, if you don't wear a mask, then you're a terrorist and you're spreading viruses, and therefore you should go to jail, because they were already threatening this shit with unvaccinated before. So all of us who knew already knew that the mask would just be another way to say you're spreading the virus, and if you spread the virus purposely, you should be charged.
Right.
And eventually people got that sentiment in public. Eventually people got that anger. They got to that level, and people at first were like, no, people won't.
Oh,
and then
no,
people got psychotic. Have
Scarlett,
died over not wearing masks.
right. Scarlett called me at 10:30 at night because she knew I was getting ready to leave my house. She said, if you see white cleaning crew vans, run. Fucking run. Here's the thing.
Yeah, because at that point, we didn't know what they were going to do here, if it was going to end up being like China. Remember that they said they were going to open 25 different military installations around the country that coronavirus patients would be sent to. Remember, in the beginning, they weren't just going to send them to any hospital, like they ended up breaking down and doing anyway. At first, they were going to be, everybody was transferred and isolated at specific places, and yada yada yada. And then they built all those field hospitals, and then they never used those, and then they built all these overflows, and then they made people go into parking ramps and shit. Okay, if we had the original 25 military installations that they literally got ready in March, okay, when the first few patients started popping up everywhere, they started saying, oh yeah, we got 25 military installations around the country. Remember in Georgia where they were going to open up this facility and start sending all these coronavirus folks to, and then everybody down there flipped out and were like, you are not sending coronavirus people down here, because it was like the Ebola feeling at first, because not that many people had it, so people were like freaking out.
Yeah, I remember
people
that.
Forget what the fuck ever happened to those 25 military installations around the country that were tapped to take coronavirus patients. Why did not one of these facilities ever open and take in patients? Why were they kept at local hospitals and in local places? And see what I mean? So it's people forget that they tried to make supposedly this whole network of places that people were going to go, that they never ended up using.
See,
where did all the money go from all this shit that they bought that was supposed to be used to house people and used as, like I said, temporary hospitals, field hospitals, all this other shit? What the hell happened to that? What happened to all the supposed nursing homes that they outfitted as COVID units that now all these governors are getting in trouble for? All these governors around the country should all be charged with war crimes for putting all those COVID patients in nursing homes and killing all the old people.
You know what? And I agree. And I have a theory behind this, Scarlett. And this is the next rabbit hole we're going to venture down with this. So, Scarlett.
Yeah.
You remember that pep talk we're supposed to have pretty soon?
No.
So, I have a theory behind all these encampments and shit.
Okay.
That are supposed to be on the East Coast from what we've read. Hurricane season's popping around part 2. Just earlier than we thought. Just earlier than we thought, okay? So, Scarlett, with the states that are open, watch this. This was a theory me and Tim were talking about the other morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could call Tim bawling my eyes out.
Well, yeah, the 2 states that are open are Florida and Texas. So, of course, some shit's going to go down if they can make it happen.
So, watch my theory. They're going to offer them up as, what do we call them? Hiding shelters for people who have no place to go. Right? To be protected and have a warm place to stay while a fucking hurricane's bashing through your state. Right?
Okay. They do that anyway, though.
Okay, but watch, with the encampments and shit that we learned about, and still fucking weird seeing my tattoo on my arm during a show. Yikes.
Well, yeah, I don't think that that's going to come into play because nobody's ever opened these facilities. So that's great, but they don't house hurricane. You know that. They don't house hurricane survivors there. They barely want to open a school or a church to let them in. You know that.
But But are you seeing what the loophole they could use? It's a theoretical loophole.
They're not going to use it because they would have already used it by now. Trust me, they're not going to use that because, like I said, they locked us into all of our cities and towns and homes, so they didn't need to create concentration camps, bro.
Yeah, good point. It was a theoretical loophole that was thrown out there.
Hold on, really quick. To pull off something like that would have to be like Nazi level. The trains would have to be running 24 hours a day and all this other shit because you just couldn't start moving everybody and act like it would just be like overnight. They knew that it would be a shitstorm and it would be more trouble than what it was worth. So it's easier to lock everybody in their homes and in their neighborhoods and get everybody scared to leave. So then basically you turn the world into like literal ghettos, like 24/7, because nobody was moving anywhere. No one was going anywhere. There was no movement in traffic on the roads. Like everything came to a standstill.
Right, exactly. But also here's the other rabbit hole. We're going to move away from this for a minute. Rabbit hole. Me and Scarlett hate hurricane season as it is.
You can't just go to new rabbit holes, bro. Like, how rabbit holes work. No, you can't. That's not how it works. So you have to call it a new topic. It's not a rabbit hole.
It's a new topic. We'll eventually turn.
No, a rabbit hole says that you go down naturally because just the nature of the topic.
So new topic.
Anyway.
So you guys know me and Scarlett hate hurricane season how it is. It's not one of our favorite seasons of the year. Scarlett, I'm not staying up for 48 hours again. No.
Well, if it happens, it happens. I'll stay up without you, Dwayne. I don't care.
I'm joking. I'm staying up.
So,
we've already had another country, I think, get hit by what, a Category 4 tropical storm? You posted it.
I don't remember. It was a Category 5 cyclone.
Okay. Thank you.
That was New Caledonia, where they already got hit by the earthquake.
Yeah. So, for all you people out there, if you actually fucking care about your life, you'll listen to us this year.
Well, places like that, they have nowhere to go. They're a fucking island in the middle of the fucking Pacific. Where are they going to go, Dwayne?
I'm talking about the people here in the States, hon.
I'm just letting you know. Those people had no choice.
They got really nowhere to go, and I do feel bad for those people. I honestly do.
They already just had a giant earthquake, and then that shit comes and hits them. It wasn't a good time.
Right. So, with hurricane season, guys, this is starting way earlier for me and Scarlett than we thought.
Yeah, but it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for them to move this year because of the states that do have mask mandates, because of what restrictions there are, because of how many things have closed. It's going to be hard for people to move like they did in previous years and just go to a new town where they can get food and things to eat.
Exactly.
Yada, yada.
You know, like
not the same.
During previous hurricane season, people would leave like 5, 6,
and
7
gas
days.
is more expensive this year too. That's going to be a barrier too. People aren't going to be able to afford to drive farther because gas is going to be through the fucking roof.
Right. So exactly. I'm looking at all the factors this year. I'm already looking at water temperatures out in the Pacific, water temperatures out in the Atlantic, trying to get a feel for how bad this fucking year is going to be. Guys, me and Scarlett have never started later than the end of May. End of May.
No, we started earlier than that because you have to realize too, most of the year, honestly now, it's literally like all year round. There are storms that have pressure levels that rival hurricanes and tropical storms. And they just call them a winter storm or this or that. Why do you think we've had named winter storms the past 3 to 4 years? Have you thought about that? Because they never named winter storms until recently.
You're making
and that's because they really got bad. That's why they started naming them. It was when Harvey happened, literally we went into a cycle of all year round storms that were equivalent to hurricanes, no matter what season it was.
Right, but
just meeting back up with hurricane season and them calling it hurricane season again. But literally all the storms could be classified with how deep the low pressure was as a hurricane. They had the same movements, they had the same winds, they had the same detrimental effects, they had the same amount of precipitation, had the same effects for flooding, had the same effects for everything.
Right, but
So
also
we've been going through extreme weather, and I just read an article recently, TLO, that you might find interesting, that they were
hold
saying
on a minute,
Minnesota
hold on a
is
minute. Dan said Joplin, Missouri, F5. What?
that was years ago, but
Yeah, that
here's
was
the
like
deal.
almost a decade ago, actually.
I was about to say
Yeah,
what?
there's been so many other storms since then, but like
Yeah, and that one
they're
is that one
saying
was
that
shit compared to the one that happened in what was it, Reno, Nebraska, or Texas, or whatever.
Oh God, that one was horrible.
so
Yeah.
hold on. So they were saying that even Minnesota has one of the top. We're like top of the list now for extreme weather. Like we
Yes.
have more extreme weather events than anywhere in the country, and it's interesting because when you look at some of these storms, like today it was like 65 degrees, super warm, nice, right?
Bro,
Tomorrow
I
at
was one
most, it,
I was one
it
off.
will be snowing, and I will get 3 to 6 inches tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not snowing here. I'm staying at a
Well,
steady
it'll be coming new.
64.
It'll be coming your way. That cold air is coming.
Yep.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it Monday from what they're saying is Monday. But here's
Yeah, they're saying that Florida and all the southern states have been really cold. They've been in like the 40s.
and here's my thing too, is this year is not going to be an easy year for me and Scarlett when it's coming to these storms. Because
No,
now
they're saying
Scarlett,
because this year is supposed to be a La Nina year.
yeah,
And like Pam was saying, and what that means for everybody is that we're going to see more intense storms. We usually see stronger. Because Reed Timmer was on yesterday with an emergency briefing for severe weather that's going to be occurring like today.
right.
So be ready that we're going to see possible severe weather events all across the country tomorrow because of this extremely strong storm.
Right.
So
And
because
this is
so
why
hold on, let me finish. Because you weren't even about to say anything. I know it. Because this has been a really interesting season so far. I mean, the winters have been mild so far to some degree, but at the same time, too, we had the Arctic blast that took out Texas, right?
Correct.
To where Tesla, I guess, is giving out new batteries to Texas that'll supposedly keep them like it's a secret battery that'll supposedly keep their power up.
Yes.
good.
Yeah, this is what I heard. So it's interesting because people are going to have to really start thinking because let me tell you what, the way that the earth wobble is getting and with the way that the cosmic rays are coming in, we're starting to get to a really dangerous point where we're literally spinning faster than we ever have before. And we're moving faster into 40 degrees north with the magnetic North Pole to where we're about to have a pole shift really soon. And those effects are
Again?
only going to be. No, we haven't had one in thousands of years, Dwayne.
See, now wait a
Like,
minute.
what do
Then
you
I'm
mean, see now, wait a minute?
bullshit. Then I'm getting told some bullshit.
No, you're just confused, bruh. Okay, continuing on.
Me confused never.
So, anyway, Dwayne, so the point is that we're getting close and we're only like 3 years away from this occurring where we're at now. And that's if it does not speed up, which it already is. So we'll be lucky if in the next 2 to 3 years we don't hit that serious like point where that's the point of no return. And there's going to be such effects on Earth that we as people might not be able to survive.
Correct.
It will be so extreme, so wild. We already have so many earthquakes and volcanic reports this month that this is like literally like 800 times the amount we've ever seen in 1 month.
Yep.
You know, the amount of blasts and warnings and earthquakes and just we're really getting to, and this especially the Iceland issue right now. What people don't realize is they're saying that Iceland is like imminently going to blow. But the issue with that makes it so important is that where this volcanic area is is right on the North Atlantic Ridge. Okay. On the North Atlantic Ridge, as magnetic north gets closer to 40, once we hit that 40 point, it's going to split. It's going to literally pull apart. And we're going to see all types of detrimental effects, waves, weather, just wild shit that hopefully people can even survive. And people need to start thinking about alternative power methods and things very, very soon, because we're getting to the point where it's going to start affecting everyone. Especially if they end up forcing Texas on the rest of the grid. The only reason why the rest of the country didn't brown out or black out is for the simple fact that Texas had to buy power from everybody else and had to buy green energy, or else they would have depleted everyone. 14 states were potentially in rolling blackout situation. People don't realize you have them start pulling off the grid too, and our whole grids might have went down.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. If they would have fucking once Texas's grid went down and then 14 states got hit from up north to down south to like east and west, if they would have started pulling fucking everybody's power, fucking everyone's grid would have went out.
Well, if Texas is on everybody else's grid and interconnected with the state's grid, yeah, it would have went all down. Everything would have went down. And people don't realize that. And then what do we do then? Because it's going to be years to get our power back on. Because how do we even contact China? How do we contact, unless they have satellite phones or this or that? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to even be able to get any information out to get anything.
Right.
People aren't thinking about this, but we only have a very short amount of time with the way that the Earth is wobbling, with the way that the course we're set at. And that's not including what's going to happen during the grand solar minimum and other things that are literally intersecting all at once, causing a serious issue. Like, us on Earth might have a really hard time, and people in these areas that keep getting hit over and over and over with natural disasters really need to start thinking if this is where they want to be, and this is the adverse moments that they want to keep dealing with, while it might get unbearable and unlivable. Like, I get everybody's pride, but I have a feeling we're going to start seeing shit that we've never seen before to a level that's just absolutely devastating. And then there's going to be no way to stay. And it's going to be too late for a lot of people, because we have the mentality is, oh, we'll just stay, we'll rebuild, we'll do this, we'll do that. Well, if those storms become just biblical level, you're not just going to be able to stay. They'll be unsurvivable.
We want to go biblical level storms, dude. I'm sorry, we're all screwed.
Well, that's what's going to start happening, you see. So people are getting into a dangerous trap of feeling comfortable with this type of behavior, because, like I said, what the problem is that once we get to that point, you see what I mean? Because you know how people are, they already don't want to leave when the shit happens. So right. If we get to the point where we start having biblical level storms, people aren't going to believe that it's going to be happening, and they're not going to realize the devastation, and they're not going to leave. And people are going to be seriously hurt because of it. And that's my biggest fear. But I know it's going to happen because people already are stubborn, and these storms are deadly and deadlier than they've ever been.
Do you know what? Here's my thing, and I'm gonna go, since we're gonna talk on biblical end storms for a minute. See, and me and Scarlett has had this conversation so many times, almost for every hurricane season. We've had at least one of these conversations. At least one, Scarlett. You know what I mean? We've had, with hurricane, with biblical storms, you have drought, dry days, fucking days where it's flooding, days where it's freezing cold, like over where a human cannot stay in the cold. It's got as hot to where the whole ground has completely dried up. No rain for months or years on end.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just flips. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's going to be to the point where certain areas and certain places are going to be like I said, unbearable.
Right.
You just
And
won't be able to live. And it's not going to be the places that you think necessarily. And
right.
only
And
time is going to tell what that's going to be, because the jet stream has been switching, and the jet
yeah.
stream has been hitting different places and pulling in storms from different areas. And this is why, you know, patterns in the Pacific Northwest and through Canada and Alaska have been changing, all different places. You know, this is why places in the Arctic are starting to melt, because jet streams are changing. You know, they're talking about the Atlantic current that flows all the way through, that basically powers the Gulf. But that is almost at a standstill. And so the salty water that usually, you know, falls to the bottom is kind of sitting at the top, and then the fresh water is coming on top of it, and it's sinking slower than it usually does. So it's not fueling this current that is literally the driving force for most of the weather in Europe and in North America and South America and pretty much everywhere. And so with this current basically not moving anymore, the hot stagnant air in the Gulf is just going to keep heating up, hotter and hotter and hotter. And that hot water is going to be pushed up, but it's not going to be replaced with the super cold water of the Arctic. So it's going to warm up that water too. So then literally that whole area is going to start to warm up. And then that's going to just facilitate more melting, which then facilitates more fresh water, which stops the salt water from quickly descending. And then you got to keep the problem continues. And this is going to be a serious issue for all of our climate and weather. And they know,
right.
they're starting to admit now in certain scientific articles, basically, that the grand solar minimum is real. But really, what we're going through is a magnetic pole reversal that they know changes climate, and know that changes weather, and they know it changes everything about what we know to be true with volcanoes and earthquakes. And it just changes the whole dynamic of living. And they know this. And so they're starting to admit it now. They tried to say at first, oh, no, it won't be a problem. It doesn't affect people like that. But now in certain
Right.
documents, they're starting to let it slowly trickle out. But I think that could be why they come up with something like coronavirus to try to kill everybody off, because they know that these events that are going to start occurring are going to take more people out than anything. So they need to start that course before it gets bad, and get people locked down and get people stuck in their homes. Because if more asteroids start coming, more storms start coming, more things start coming, you don't want people moving all around everywhere. You're going to want people used to being in one place.
Right. Exactly. You know,
Be
and
mentally able to be away from other people, and like they're really conditioning people to get ready potentially for all of these natural disasters, whether people realize it or not.
right. And you know, there's a spiritual perspective I want everybody to look at during the storms and everything that does happen, because it's one thing I touch on really well. Scarlett does too. Sometimes if I don't touch the subject, she will. Storms happen for a reason.
Well, there's always an explain. Well, let's put it like this: there's always an explainable reason for why a storm occurs,
Right.
right? So storms just don't happen without explanation. It's not just, oh, it happened. Well, something happened in the atmosphere that allowed these conditions to set up. There's always going to be a reason for the storm.
Right.
You know.
Take I'll use one of the worst storms I hate, and I hate bringing the storm up. Harvey.
Well, Harvey was a unprecedented storm that should be and could be used till the end of time to
You know,
explain when things go wrong, how wrong they go.
right, Harvey, and like I said, I'll use this storm for an example.
And use it as a perfect storm. You know, they just called this latest winter storm, which was called Winter Storm Uri, that hit Texas. They said that was the winter Harvey.
Yep, exactly. You know, so Harvey showed a lot of us, you know, and I'm going to go not during the storm, the aftermath, the after effect, where me and Scarlett got involved, where teams got involved, where there was people on the ground. It showed us truly how much we could go through during one of these.
True.
Scarlett went 48 hours without communication with me because every single cell phone tower went down for a 48-hour period.
True. And we only had the guys that we could have that miraculously, somehow, by the grace of God, still had a Zello connection, but had no cell service, which makes no
I was
sense
one of
because
those
it uses
people.
cell phone.
I was one
But
of those people.
Zello had said that they had used low frequency technology to try to make sure that they could fit as many people, and it would be easier to use it as a phone, through the Zello than a phone call. So they tried to make it very low wattage. So, but we had connection with people that we shouldn't have had connection with, but by the grace of God, they were there.
These storms every year do one thing, a lot of things for me. I will go back to the
Even the last storm, they're saying that Cajun Navy has been putting out shit every day talking about how the people who got just hit by Laura this past year are still living in such subpar conditions. And then they got hit with this winter storm and they have holes in their houses and mold and water and just like super fucked up conditions. Besides the people who were still living with blue tarps after Harvey and still had them when this last storm just came through. People are in seriously bad shape down there. Seriously bad shape. And I don't think people understand how bad it is for so many people in these regions right now who are just living on nothing.
Right. And it's like the people in Tennessee too. So I'll use this as an example. I seen pictures the other day. We had Sunday before church, I had to be there like 8:30 in the morning. Because for the trip I'm going on, we had a PowerPoint presentation. So last year, parts of Tennessee, Nashville included, got hit by really bad tornadoes last year. Bad.
Yep.
There are still people who are living with unstable foundations in their home.
Oh, I'm sure, because as soon as COVID was going on, nobody came out to inspect their shit afterwards and or kick them out. So they're just letting them, hang on by a thread.
So Samaritan's Purse.
Which I like them. For a charity, they're decent.
They're a Christian organization, actually. Never
I
knew
know
that.
they are. So is Salvation Army and all these other ones. But Samaritan's Purse, their donations actually go to people and not the CEO's pocket. And so they are a good organization if there isn't a CERT team in the area that's taking care of it or something. They are a really good choice to give money to for disasters.
A couple of us from our church has partnered up with a group that has partnered up with Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan's Purse is also partnered with Lowe's. We are going down.
Okay.
Our trips start at the end of this month, going all the way through June or July. And they last a week.
Okay.
We will be working with construction teams, like actual foremen and everything like that, going in and rebuilding people's homes.
That's good.
Lowe's is supplying all of our equipment. Drywall, wood, power tools, everything. They are supplying us with the tools we need to go down there. And at the end of every rebuild that we do, the family gets a Bible signed by every single one on that team.
That's cool. It's a lot of work, so get ready.
We go down before we even touch the home. We ask them first, can we help you?
Oh, of course. They have to want to be helped. I mean, you can't just go rebuild somebody's things without having permission.
We pray with them. We talk to them. They'll even though we don't normally we normally don't like letting them, from what I've heard. They'll even come help us with the rebuild project. Like that homeowner will help us.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? If I had an opportunity to have somebody help me build a home, I would help them.
We're going down and rebuild. Like, I know one project we have for May is literally tearing up the whole upstairs wall from the rain damage, because it was the only upper half of the house that got affected from this.
Right.
We're going in and completely tearing out drywall, tearing out the fucking barriers, like the wood, the frame.
You think about it like this: these people have probably had to deal with mold since then, or have had to live somewhere else, which really sucks.
So the fact that I even get the opportunity to go in May, I leave May 2nd, and I come back I'll be back May 8th. I'm going down for a week. The fact that I get to go down there, and I plan on live documenting some of this for you guys. Like, I'm going to get permission from Samaritan's Purse and everything, yada, 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 to get live documented footage. And plus, I had to get the homeowner's permission.
Right.
To get live footage, it might not actually be on air, but it's going to be live footage, whether I go on Facebook, whether I post videos up, pictures up. I'm going to keep you guys updated through the whole project. And because I have my computer back and I can use my TV, I am bringing back Wednesday Bible studies at noon my time every day, every Wednesday. And then I'm bringing back Sundays. I just had to figure out the computer situation, which Scarlett's seen the computer for the first time since it broke.
Well, yeah.
So
I already told you what you can do about that, though.
Funny story how this happened. My ex and my mother were trying to wake me up. And I guess instead of lashing out at my mother, I lashed out at my ex and fucking
funny. I don't think that's
because
funny.
thinking about it now, the way she was waking me up was pissing me off.
Hey, be a grown person and wake up.
I had an hour and I had 2 hours left before I had to get up.
So what? Get up.
My mom was making sure I was okay. I didn't have to be up for another 2 hours. Kenzie was going like, Dwayne, wake up. She was trying to get me up because she had a nightmare. I took my phone. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to be up till 3:30. 3:30. Her face is literally on the computer screen where my hand's at right now. My phone met my computer screen without me even knowing I threw it at my computer. Like, I just chucked it. Thought I was going to hit my stand, because my stand is my... By the way, Scarlett, I brought my nightstand up from the basement and cleaned it off. Put it by my bed. I didn't even know my computer was in the way, and I tossed my phone to get her, just get her to shut up. And I heard a click, I heard a smash, and I heard glass break. I'm going like, oh no, what did I just break? I turned over and I see pretty colors on my computer screen. I went like, oh, yeah. Fuck no.
Because you're
brilliant, Dwayne. Brilliant.
I know.
Well, that's when Dwayne had really bad temper issues, okay? I'm good now. I've been single
for... Can't be going through computers like candy, my friend.
I've been single for 2 weeks now. Since I've been single, I have gotten back in my prayer life. I have started writing more music. I've been coming on here more. I've been able to do things more. My mom's seeing a change in me. My sponsor, everybody's starting to see a change on how I was acting when I was with her versus that I'm not with her.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And here's my thing, okay, is I realized why I was in the relationship that I was. Scarlett knew I wasn't really invested since November, December, and Scarlett was trying to get me to leave from like month 8 when shit was getting bad. Scarlett went like, Dwayne, you just need to get the fuck out. Just go.
Yep.
She was threatening suicide. How the fuck do I like and Scarlett even looked at me and said, dude, you're on your own with that one. Because she told me it was coming and I didn't listen. Now here's the thing about Scarlett and me. Me and Scarlett are really close. We've been really close since Harvey. Scarlett told me to leave Julie the day Julie decided to throw a frying pan at the back of my head when I was on the phone with Scarlett.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
Missed me by about 2 inches. Saw the fucking thing go whoop and Scarlett heard it hit the
No,
wall.
I mean I could get it if it was for like maybe a good purpose, but like it was not. It was not.
I got a frying. What, Scarlett? That morning, what? I got a chair throwing at me, a frying pan thrown at me, keys thrown at me.
Yeah, all because he wanted to go to the store to get a pop and some cigarettes, like, and because he was up. And it's just like, but you grown though. Like, I don't understand.
And plus, I was having a hard night. Scarlett knew I wasn't. When Scarlett knows I'm not okay and she feels I'm not okay, she'll call me and go like, "Are you okay?"
He was at home and hadn't been at work, and they'd already been like arguing. So he wanted to leave so that he could get a break for a minute from Dean. And then she flips out.
And it's 5 o'clock in the morning. The gas station is
It was
already.
like, and it was 5 o'clock like my time, so it was like 6 o'clock in the morning for Dwayne.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I want to leave. Dean has been up since 3, and I've been staying up all night when she's supposed to be the one on the midnight schedule. I wanted to leave, get out the house. Scarlett calls me and she goes like, "I have a feeling something's wrong. What the fuck is up? Talk to me." So I ran outside, smoked my last cigarette, went to go back outside to smoke a cigarette, realized I didn't have it. Went to go steal one of Julie's, and Scarlett can vouch for this. She told me, "Go get your fucking own." So I was leaving to go get my own, and I got a frying pan thrown at me.
Yeah, and then was told you can't leave, but then just told him to go get his own.
Yeah.
Because then she asked where he was going, and he's like, to go to the store. And she's like, but you can't go to the store.
Wasn't allowed to go to the store. Ask Scarlett. I went anyway.
Really?
I went anyways.
Yeah, he did leave anyway, because I told him, I was like, she can't keep you there like that, especially if y'all are trying to like de-escalate arguments. Like, that's just ignorant to keep you there.
Like, here's the thing. And like, I'm gonna go back further. Scarlett doesn't know the story. My buddy Chris, Scarlett, you knew about this. He was living with me for 2 weeks. The night he was there, he saw that Dean didn't really have much formula left. We were trying to get to the store, but couldn't because, which one of us were staying home to watch the kid. We were having an argument about that. So he had his Ohio's driver's license, and he said, "Okay, get in the car. I'm going to go to the store, and I'm going to get you guys some things." He ended up spending about $700 for the house for 2 weeks. About 300 to 400 of that was for Dean alone. Formula, clothes, diapers, shit he could provide for his nephew. You know what I mean? He's like my brother.
Right.
Known him since I was a little kid. And I walk in the house, and he's unpacking this shit, and she starts yelling at him. Going, she's going like, "I need your fucking help." And he said, "You know what? Fuck this, Dwayne. Let her put this shit away. We're going to go smoke." She tried to throw it at me and cracked him in the back with a cast iron skillet.
Yes, nope.
And he went, when we got downstairs, he went like, "You better be lucky I respect you or I was going to smack a bitch."
Yeah.
And I'm going to move about 3 days later. It's my 21st birthday. I just turned 21. Teresa and Shane, which is her mom and dad, took my kid for the weekend so I could celebrate my 21st birthday. They took a 7-day-old baby to make sure I could go celebrate for the weekend for my 21st birthday because they did not want me to miss it.
Where was Julie?
She was with me. We were all celebrating. I was getting kind of shit-faced plastered that weekend.
She needed to be at home with her child. I'm not.
Well, we were all home.
You don't leave no little baby. You don't leave no little baby after your birth. You don't leave no little baby after your birth. You don't leave no little baby after your birth.
We didn't ask. She wanted them. She came over and taken Dean for the weekend. Joey didn't say nothing.
Don't leave no little baby.
Yeah, I know. I was pissed. Trust me about it. But anyways, that's besides the point. I couldn't do nothing because I wasn't a fucking legal guardian. It was all her fucking say. It's whatever. I hate Ohio. But besides the point. So we go out and I get alcohol for the night. It's my 21st birthday. So, and then the next day, my buddy Chris takes me to Walmart, gets me new clothes, and Scarlett fucking decent outfit, right? Jeans, dress shirt, hat, sunglasses, watch, about $150 outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Like really nice clothes. And then he says, "We're going to Dave & Buster's." Well, We get to Dave & Buster's out in Cleveland. Julie is nowhere to be seen for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, Scarlett, your favorite black person of mine, comes up to me and goes like, Dwayne, where's Julie? And I went like, because Chris is with me. I went like, she was with you. Where the fuck did she go? Scarlett, the inside of this place is big. We are sitting there for an hour walking through Dave & Buster's trying to find this woman. I had 2 employees go into the bathroom because I still had to watch her to make sure if the afterbirth dropped and she started hemorrhaging, I can get to her. You know what I mean?
That's why her ass needs to be at home.
I'm still in that 7-day period. She's outside talking to Brian on the phone. She's outside talking to Brian while we're out celebrating my 21st birthday. So fucking, I'm just, you know what? I'm glad I don't have to deal with these fucking psycho crazy women anymore. I'm glad, in a way, but I'm stuck with Julie for 18 more years, well, for the rest of my life. So it's a win-loss situation here, damn it.
The moral of the story, kids,
don't end up like me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't end up like me. This is a life lesson I'm giving you guys, and I don't give very many life lessons.
Be picky, because you could end up like Dwayne.
Please don't end up like me, because then I'm going to feel sorry for you, and then I'm just going to want to kill you so we can just end it.
Damn, Dwayne. It's that bad.
So we can just end. Dude, it was that bad with both of them, bro. It was. So the last week me and Mackenzie were together, Wednesday night, that Wednesday, Scarlett, I actually had to call the suicide prevention line that night.
I know, which is terrible.
She got me that bad that I had to call the suicide prevention line because she dumped all of her mental health on me, all of her depression, anxiety, and everything. And I'm trying to already cope with what I have going on.
Which, you know what? PSA for everybody out there. Please do not make someone the source of your happiness. Okay?
Please
Don't. Just please don't. Because you know what? That
it
may
sucks the
seem
happiness out of them.
Yeah, it does. It sucks the happiness out of the other party. And in the end, if you things don't work out, you end up being so much more hurt than you ever could be. Because all of your happiness, everything that you've created your life for revolves around that.
Right.
And it's great to share in life and have someone there for you. Like, that's not what I mean. Like, don't not have a partner in life. And don't not have happiness from them. But do not source it as your only place of happiness.
Because here's the thing that I screwed up and I did, okay? I let Mackenzie drain the happiness in me. Like, TLO was asking me why was I acting weird. Scarlett was getting concerned. My mom was getting... All of my friends were getting concerned because I was not being me. Scarlett knew there was a problem once Bible study and shit went out the window. And what, Scarlett? That was mid-October, November when I stopped doing that?
Not even that. It was more personally what was going on with you. There was just no level of compromise that seemed to be like that was going to come to a resolution. And so when you don't have someone who's willing to compromise with you in life, what are you going to do?
Right. Exactly. And so the night that I had to make that phone call, I started sending goodbye letters because that's where I was truly at. And thank God for a buddy of mine who is a streamer sent me the number to the suicide prevention line. And I called them.
Well, here's the deal, Dwayne. You should never get to the point where somebody else's actions drive you to feel like you're worthless.
Bro,
you have to remember your worth.
Dude. Because when
I told her, that's why
I told her I couldn't talk to her about this that I'm not in the right mental. Like Scarlett will even call me sometimes, and I'm like, if you need to vent, I'm not the right person right now. Scarlett respects that
Right.
about
And that's okay. Right. Because everybody has
she'll,
that time where they just can't process.
she'll switch it and make sure I'm okay. And
Right.
hear me
That's
vent. By
what
the time
friends
I'm
should
done
do.
venting, she started her vent rant, and we're both fine. Here's the thing, guys. I was literally sitting here playing my Xbox, relaxing with the guys, trying to focus on me, get me together, get me okay. My seizures started acting up really bad again. I'm trying to cope. I've got shit going on at home, shit going on with my son, shit going on with my sister. Just fucking around the border. I'm fucking just deep down fucking depressed and I can't deal with this shit. And she
Right.
just, I swear to God, within 30 seconds, she dumps a whole shit ton on me with a 20 paragraph fucking text message.
Right. And that's
So I got
that's a
her mom
lot.
involved. I said, I can't do this. I mentally cannot do this. I'm not in the right spot. And Scarlett, I didn't tell you this. That night she called me a worthless piece of shit and I should have just fucking died.
Wow. That's
Which is
shitty.
that's why it pushed me. I went like, okay, maybe she's right. Maybe I am a worthless piece of shit.
Right, because you felt like you couldn't be there for her at the time when really she should have been like, okay, I'll take care of it because they're in the same household. It's not like you're asking someone outside of her household to come help. I could understand her saying, well, what am I supposed to do? You're just as capable. But in this case, she could intervene and should have for your
She did.
behalf.
It wasn't the mom calling me that. It was Mackenzie calling me that because I got her mom involved.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you should have somebody in her house be involved, is what I'm saying.
Right. It's like, I'm dealing with my own shit. And Scarlett, I swear to God, that phone call at the suicide prevention line was like 45 minutes long, dude.
Oh, I bet.
Like they were talking me down, getting me to understand. My episodes have lessened down. This weekend was really bad due to a solar flare up.
Yeah, it was. And that does affect a lot of people. People don't realize these solar flares can affect everything.
24 seizures within a weekend. Yeah, it fucked me. It fucked me.
Well, they're really strong right now.
They fucked me. And then here's the thing. So I texted Scarlett this. Actually, it was because of a text message Scarlett sent me. She went like, you might want to check your Facebook. And I went like, huh? She called me. You might want to check your Facebook. I'm like, the fuck you mean I want to check my what? I got hacked out of my Facebook. She went into my Facebook and unblocked me from her page.
You should have been
Unblocked her
changing
from my page.
passwords.
Well, I was in my NA meeting, Scarlett. My Zoom is connected to my Facebook.
Yeah, but you should have changed the password.
I did. When me and my mom changed the shit we did, we took her number off to get the two-way verification code. You know what I mean?
Oh, why would you ever put that on there?
Because we were together and my phone, I wasn't getting my text messages I was supposed to get from Facebook.
Damn, bro.
And nobody else wanted to attach their number to my Facebook, so she was helping me. Well, when I fucking logged in, it popped up on her phone when it wasn't supposed to that she got the two-way verification code. Now I'm sitting here. It's 10:30 at night my time, 9:30 Scarlett's time. Hello, alarm. Good morning. And I get a phone call from Scarlett about 9:30 her time going like, check your Facebook. What? The fuck are you talking about? Get off here and check your Facebook. I couldn't get into mine. So you want to know what I did, Scarlett?
What?
I got into hers. Bitch, get into mine. I will figure out what the fuck you did. Trust and believe. And I figured out. I got into hers real quick. I went into her block list. I'm nowhere in her block list. So I go into the group we're both in to see what's going on. And fucking, she has me unblocked on everything. My Instagram is connected to my Facebook. My Facebook is connected to my TikTok. My Facebook is connected to my Twitter. So pretty much everybody now knows I have pretty much everything connected into one thing. Facebook. Because it's so fucking easy to remember my login.
Yeah, look at how well that's panned out for you there, Dwayne.
Oh, that's all fucking changed. Everything's separate now. Besides Instagram.
Well, you need to just switch the password, and she can't.
I did. Shannon, the girls helped me get it figured out. They helped. Me and my mom couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on, so the girls got in there and fucking figured their shit out. Thank God for them. Oh my God. Well, Kristen texts her. It says blatantly, "Did you hack my brother?" No, I got the code for his two-way verification. I haven't left my bed since Saturday because I've been drunk.
Mm.
Bitch, that does not help your case at all whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
And then I get blamed this week that she's turned into an alcoholic.
So what? That's not your fault. You did put the bottle to her mouth. Did she go to the liquor store by herself? Then that's her issue. You did bring her there. I'm sorry, but that's crazy. And you live 2 hours away? Please.
4 hours away now.
Yeah,
she lives out by Cincinnati.
Oh, right.
So, fucking, and yes, MGTOW, I do have a power of attorney. My power of attorney is my sister. My biological sister. That's my power of attorney. The one person I will actually trust, well, it was a fucking factor. Scarlett, my mom, or Kristen. My sister.
Well, like I told you, dude, one day when you find someone, then you'll need to include them. But until then,
I will. And when I find someone, they'll get included. But you know what? Here's my thing. And the fact is, we're going to talk about this because I want to poke TLO's nerve.
What?
Right?
She wanted to put a DNR on my name.
Oh, that's the one.
A do not resuscitate order.
That again, sus.
Dude, here's the thing. I had a feeling, dude, if I moved down there, she was fucking murdering my ass, dude.
Probably was. You're probably gonna be human sacrifice.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Dwayne. I told that to my mom. I told your story or whatever, and told her that she asked for DNR, and my mom just laughed, and she said, "Ha, that bitch is crazy."
Bro, she ain't lying. I love your mom, TLO. And I love the fact you told your mom that story. That is fucking amazing.
Well, that's because my mom asked about you too, Dwayne, because you're a friend and associate. So she likes to check up on my friends and associates as well. So, but yeah, I told her the story, and she gave her usual very boisterous and loud laugh out loud, and said, "Yeah, that bitch is crazy."
Yeah,
and then she like looked at me and like kind of made a funny face, and she's like, "She really actually asked that?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "They're not still together, are they?" I was like, "No," and she's like, "Well, that's good." I was like, "Yes."
Well, because here's the thing: for this one girl,
her attitude towards Dwayne's religion and stuff, like he could have been a sacrifice.
See, because here's my thing: I dated Kenzie is technically, I guess, a witch. Me and Scarlett was already called bullshit on this.
I would even have to add a bullshit myself.
Thank
given
you.
That I am an offspring of an actual witch.
That's a
but she claims her mom did to it this way and all this other stuff, which the way her mom acts,
just
like
the story. Yeah, the stories that you told and the shit that they said, they're not. They're not Wiccan.
So
they're not Wiccan.
To move on, I have put myself in debt with so many people. TLO being one of those. her birthday weekend, he loaned me like a little over $200 fucking just to make her birthday fucking great.
Yeah.
And this is how I get paid. This is how I get treated. This is how Dwayne gets shown up to be a fucking another, excuse my word, Scarlett, in the eyes of her, another fucking retard.
Spend crazy money on her and her little excursions and all these little hotel visits you did and all that. I told you not to spend all that money.
I was another, from what I saw in her text message when I hacked her, I was another retard in her books. Now,
well, I'm sure she's probably just using you. She probably uses a lot of dudes.
Yeah. There's a lot of users out there.
The reason I was able to nullify everything and the reason I was able to see everything is these two people right here.
Well, yeah, well, I will tell it like it is, even if it hurts people's feelings.
I will too. It's a problem sometimes, but it's a blessing and a curse because I'm not going to lead you astray if I see the path for destruction.
Scarlett has even called at that point when I called Scarlett and told her, just, you know what? No, she told Mackenzie when she first talked to her, he is like a son to me. Don't fucking hurt him or I'm going to hurt you. Them are exactly Scarlett's words.
Well, sometimes you just gotta tell folks what's up.
That's right.
The first fucking time Scarlett ever talked to her, straight off the fucking bat, before fucking Kenzie even got to say hi, he is like a son to me. You hurt him, I'll fuck you up. And my comment to that was, that's the diary of a mad black woman. And that's just how it is. But, you know, it's like, here's the thing. Bitches be crazy, stupid is stupid, and pussy's not worth the fucking crazy. Point blank fucking period.
Well, she just wasn't worth all the extra time. Wasn't even crazy because, like, to be honest, I've dealt with crazy numerous times, and there's a coalesce of patterns, so like you can kind of gauge the craziness. She's just talking bullshit.
Dude, here's the fucking thing, and this is where I want to say this. If she's watching, I don't care if your feelings are getting hurt. I don't care if it seems like I'm bad. I'm not scared of your father who works for the FBI. I'm not fucking scared.
I ain't scared of no government fuckers.
Point blank fucking period. You're watching this, guess what? Get fucked, Karen. Point blank period. End of rant. Because here's the thing. I deserved somebody who was going to put in the effort. And Scarlett can say, I told you so here in a fucking minute. She told me when I was in Tennessee not to date that bitch.
Not even that. It wasn't that. It's just that when people aren't willing to make you get into relationships and you like people really hard. And so for you, the danger is that you get attached too fast. And then you want to move things really fast, which you shouldn't do. And that gets you in a lot of trouble.
Amen.
That's half of the problem.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Here's my thing. Here's my thing. I owe Scarlett and TLO a big apology. Because I did put them through hell months leading up to the breakup. I am sorry. I am sorry you guys really had to watch me go through hell. And
I accept your apology, but you don't. It's not necessary because, yeah, I know people go through shit and whatnot, and it's not like it truly affected me. It just affected me by affecting you.
Well, and
so that part sucks, but you know, given that I've had recent suckiness, I understand, and so.
Well, I'm also apologizing on behalf of Mackenzie's end too, because the fact is that
no, back up. Don't apologize for her. Don't ever apologize for people being.
She's the reason.
Yeah, but still, you don't apologize for people's bad behaviors. even if you're trying to be polite, even if you're trying to be respectful, because like you shouldn't make excuses for people's bad behavior. Like, just
I'm not
period.
making an excuse. I'm just apologizing that y'all had to go through that.
It's life, man. It really is. There's craziness all over the place. There's crazy pussy running around all over the place. It happens to sit there and think that it's like huge and detrimental. We were just concerned about you. Like, it didn't affect me. I deal with these crazy folks all the time. I used to work in the clubs. You don't think I've seen women that would eat Mackenzie up alive and turn and twist her ass, pimp her ass out? Like, I swear to God, there's girls that would turn her fucking mind inside out. So I know. I've seen users. And so, yeah, it's no biggie, man.
And I'm going to get personal here for a minute because I told Scarlett this. Is that fuck? Okay, here's my thing. When so when I broke up with her, I ended up burning. I burned 90% of her shit that was left in my house. I did. I burned it, fucking straight, burned, gone. I turned into a pyromaniac for like 4 days. I set everything on fire. But part of the reason that made me honestly break up with Mackenzie is this. Because I was no longer happy. The constant anxiety attacks, the constant have to be on the phone every night. Scarlett would call me just to have a conversation because she hasn't heard me in a couple days. If I don't go a couple days without trying to contact Scarlett's going to fucking go like, okay, where the fuck's Dwayne? Why is he not calling my fucking phone? Like, where the fuck is Dwayne?
True.
Like, where the fuck is he at? Is he okay? I'm going to fucking call him and make sure he's okay. Well, Kenzie was laying here the one night, and Scarlett called me. I answered the phone. Kenzie rolls over and says, get the fuck off the phone. I have never heard Scarlett yell through my fucking ear so fucking quick. To where I actually had to move the phone away from my ear. The last time Scarlett ever yelled like that is when fucking Stone and Ron pulled his shit. You remember that?
Yeah, bruh.
That is the last time I have ever heard you fucking yell like that. I swear to God, she almost, if she could have came through my phone and smacked the shit out of her, she was going to.
She probably tried.
She probably did because fucking, I answered the phone, I rolled over, grabbed my phone.
No, but it's true though.
Right, and I went like, what's up, Scarlett? And you hear Mackenzie get her voice like, she needs to leave you the fuck alone and get off the phone. I'm fucking here. Ooh, the earful she got that night? Yikes. I walked out of the room. Scarlett went like, one, don't you ever fucking talk.
Ooh, Dwayne got zapped. Dwayne got zapped. Zapped.
For real.
Yeah.
Zappers.
Hopefully it comes back.
Okay, something happened. I don't know what the fuck happened. But Scarlett went like, don't you ever fucking talk to me like that again. If I want to fucking call him at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to fucking call him. I've known him longer. Get fucked.
Yeah, but see, the half of the problem is she knew your baby mama, and that's a no. That's a prerequisite no.
That can get dicey.
So all future prerequisites, no.
Yeah, and fucking and she told Scarlett. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh my ass off right now. She called Scarlett a bitch, and Scarlett lost it. I remember the night Julie called you a bitch, Scarlett, and you lost it. You remember that night?
No.
Fucking yeah, TLO. Scarlett and Mackenzie's had the nerve to call Scarlett a bitch while I'm on the phone with her.
Yeah.
Only time I ever call Scarlett a bitch is when we're joking around. Because she'll go like, you're on your fucking bullshit. I'll go like, listen here, bitch. No, I'm not. You're on some bullshit. It's the only time I ever say that to her. Or when she calls me and then I call her back, she doesn't answer the phone. I'll go like, you bitch.
Right, but I don't play that shit when I'm just talking to somebody. Like, I don't do that. So it's like, don't disrespect me.
Yeah, you don't disrespect someone who literally helped me get back into my mother's house.
Not even that. You just don't disrespect someone, period. I never talk to people like that. That's crazy.
I mean, you'll look at me and call me a fucking... She'll just look at me if we're on video call or something going like, you're just on your fucking bullshit, dude.
Right. Well, that's different, though. That's a joke. But I'm just saying, as far as just talking to someone, I would never call them just out of their name for no reason.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
And it's like this. Oh, her mom's watching. Oh, this morning just got so much more interesting. I need to quit before I get myself in trouble. I need to quit.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to see what happens tomorrow, though. I'll be watching the trial, though, so I'll keep people updated if I see anything important or interesting.
Please do.
Right.
But,
Yep.
guys,
Because I know not everybody has time to watch it, and it does take a long time to watch. It
Well,
really
hell,
does.
this
Like,
whole
I
week
feel
is just
bad
going to
for
be jury
these.
selection.
Well, yeah, this shit's gonna take days. You know, they got a seat.
They only have 3 out of 12.
They said 12 or 14.
Yeah, because they have to have 2 alternates.
Yep, they were gonna do 16, but then they said with the last trial they did in January that 14, I guess, would be sufficient or whatever.
Yeah, COVID is still rearing its head. So.
Well, yeah, they still have to use all those rules because they got all that dumb plexiglass up.
Yep.
It's so stupid in the courtroom. Like, what's the point of the plexiglass, yo?
Oh no, it's been proven. Like actual scientists have come out and said it's like one of the stupidest things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it
guys,
just makes people feel better somehow. Like, I just don't understand
it's
how
that
it makes
placebo
anyone feel
effect.
better. That's what I
Right.
mean, because it's like it's up around them and it's like there's spaces in between it. Like, I could understand
Yeah.
maybe if you had like a little hermetically sealed box or something that you were in.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more sense, right? Everybody has their own little cubicle box you step into and shit.
Yep.
And, you know, maybe has like a little exhale hole vent or something, you know? And that would make more sense. Okay, then you might be more protected that way. But just little pieces of plexiglass up in between everybody, like, whoa, like, and then everybody has to wear masks. And then half the time they have to ask to take their mask off because no one can hear them.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what I mean? It's like, it's ridiculous. Like, but then they make sure they put on their masks when they talk on their little sidebars because now they have little headsets they get to use. So instead of approaching the bench, they all just talk on little headsets now.
Yep.
Right. But guys, I am going to say this. I am getting tired as fuck.
Okay.
Like, and it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
You guys down for another show tomorrow? Well, today, technically. Today, tomorrow, whatever it is for you guys.
Maybe.
I might have just kind of had an in-body seizure. So I think it just drained the fuck out of me.
Yeah. You look a little peaked.
Yeah, I'm tired. That one just kind of fucked my head up just like a tiny bit. But Scarlett, it is fucking amazing having you again. Thank God you're back.
All right.
Do you have any last words, Scar?
Yeah, like I said, I'll be covering the trial. I'll be covering a few other things too that we've been looking at. We found that on NBC Nightly News a couple weeks ago, the head of the Chinese CDC came on and said that they've never isolated the virus, as well as we have some documents that show that they've never isolated the virus, and that in the Moderna vaccine, they have used luciferase in the vaccine, which for people who don't know what luciferase is, it is basically the quantum dot technology that Bill Gates was talking about using to be able to scan people to see if they've had the vaccine.
Right.
So there's lots of things that we'll be following on that front, because they're basically pushing it on everybody and acting like everybody needs to have it. And there's some serious issues that people need to be looking at.
Absolutely.
Especially if we have no isolate of the virus, because that's the main point. What have we been making all these vaccines after? What have we been testing for in PCR tests? What has it been then?
Exactly.
You know, they claim it
Right.
comes from a strand of DNA that they pulled from like a human strand of like DNA or something. Like, this is what they're saying. Like, this is what they admit, how they got the PCR test. And so we should all have serious questions about that.
Absolutely.
So we need to So we need to start coming up with ways to confront them about this. Because if we don't, and they get to reach endgame before we call them out, we're going to be in a
We're
world of
fucked.
hurt. Yep. That's it. It's just going to be like that forever. And we're almost getting to that point anyway, just with the way people are acting. People are okay with taking the vaccine to go back to life. You know, everybody's like, oh, I get to go back to life now. But yet they still say wear a mask, still social distance. So how is anybody going back to life?
Correct.
We're not.
You know?
How's the taking the vaccine actually beneficial if you're still running around frightened and
Exactly.
covering up
You're
and
doing
not
the same
touching
thing that you're
people?
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no new rights. You get no new things that you get to do. Nothing
Good
new is
evening, Darren.
open.
Long time no see.
Right. Oh my god, I'm getting fucking tired. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
right. Funky cold.
I'm just
McDermott.
saying, like, you know, nothing new that you actually get, but yet somehow everything's going to change and you're going to go back to life. And I just don't see how that occurs. I don't see how we get there.
It's not going to for a while.
No, it's never going back. People need to realize this is it. This was the New World Order takeover, and people just did not want to combat it. So now we're going to have to deal with how do we the implementation, because we're not going to stop it at this point, unfortunately.
Right.
People did not fight, and so now we're stuck with it, and that's just the bottom line.
Right.
We should have fought harder. We should have done more. But now what do we do to keep ourselves from completely falling under 1000% tyranny is basically our mission at this point.
Right. Exactly. But guys, with that being said, we're going to end this bitch. TLO, any last words?
No, just be safe.
Scarlett. Oh,
Got to be careful with that, MGTOW. I heard they're charging people for hate crimes
yeah.
if you blow on them with the coronavirus.
Yeah, dude. They're not playing with that. Yeah, just keep watching for us. We're gonna come out with a few new shows. We might come on tomorrow. Like Dwayne said. Yeah, it's lucky we're not. Poor Darren.
Yeah.
Darren's in Australia. Poor Darren.
Or
Australia or New Zealand
Or UK.
Yeah.
or UK.
Yeah, UK's pretty bad too. Yeah. Everywhere's pretty bad. I mean, hell, here's even bad too. But there's places. It's sad that we can look at other places in the world that used to be, you know, the pillar of living. That now
Correct.
just no one has freedom anymore.
Nope.
And there's a very small majority.
Everyone's living in the CCP.
Yeah, everybody's living under the, the Earth CCP, the ECCP. Because
ECCP.
yeah, ECCP. And no one's standing up. That's the sick part about it, is that there's such a small minority of people who actually feel like they've been taken over, that is why we will never be able to reverse this.
No, it's also because people have gotten too stupid on TikTok and all the regurgitated crap that's on Twitter.
True.
And
a
like
lot
that's
of it,
where they get their information. So literally, if you put something on Twitter, like they're like, "Oh yeah, that happened," and it's like,
well, yeah, we're one of
no.
like the last. I'm like one of the last generations that actually used like encyclopedias like in school, and
Correct.
there was no search engine, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like
The Webster's dictionary.
Right.
Yeah, you had to have one of those on your school supply list. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And so I think I'm one of the last generations that had to deal with that. So everybody younger only has what they've seen on the internet. And
Correct.
that's a big issue, because that's not necessarily indicative of real life, with how we know that they can bias articles and things. So like I said, the only way we're going to do this, and we're going to have Greg Garrett on here soon. He wants to do a really big show. And he wants to talk about all of his books that he's written in the past year. And so we're going to talk about what we can actually do and what this plan really is and what it actually really means. The deeper, I guess, elite conspiracies of what this move means geopolitically for everyone and what the motives are. Because once you realize that, then you understand how dire of a situation we're in. It's so multifaceted that it hurts. And that's why we're going to have to start breaking it down, because a year into this now, it's not going away.
No, it's not.
Okay. There is no 2 weeks to slow the spread. Okay. Because we're a year later now.
Yeah.
So that never existed, y'all.
That flattening the curve shit.
Yeah, we don't flatten the curve, and then they just keep saying multiple waves, even though they never admitted that the second wave ever came until it was the third wave.
Right. That's very true.
Yep. Now they're talking about a fourth wave.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. So you see what I mean? Like we never, 2 weeks to slow the spread was a lie to get us stuck into this pattern, because after 21 days of doing something, it becomes habit. So now it is more than a habit. It is ingrained in American culture at this point. That's why it's so dangerous to get rid of. That's why it's so hard for people now. It's not just something they did a couple days ago. For some people, it's a year later. There are some people who still haven't left their homes.
Yeah.
But, all right, guys, I really do have to end this fucking thing because I really want to go to bed.
All right. We'll get out of here.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm just this fucking...
From the land of 10,000 lakes. Good night, universe.
Guys, from the seas to the skies, and from a country made by God, even though it may be screwed up right now. May we have faith, peace, and love for each other, not hate, anger, and distinguish. And with that, good night, y'all. Oh my God. End button. Work. DLO, help.